good to go and fix you did this as well. To be parallelized.
There was a few broken tests. So right now it's actually not integrated. Truthfully, it's not integrated into CI at this moment.
Right.
So I forked out 10 slaves. We're right now actually in the transition of moving like our build pipeline into the cloud as is, and then replacing that with kind of the work that I did and the tests that I did. So there were a few kind of sticky things, but yeah, little tiny details that we'll get into.
Further on Docker sort of distance itself from config management, but it seems like now that, as you mentioned, it's there's even going to be something built into Docker that can config management. Like, where do you see it going?
Yeah, I can't really comment too much on that aside from just rumors that I've heard, but I found that to be one of the kind of it's a lacking feature. A lot of people already have their setup in configuration management. You can't just abandon that and go to Docker files. So,
But it's easy enough to just do that as your first line of build file.
yeah. I don't know. Packer, I think, is another kind of like great solution for that. Kind of an intermediary if they want to keep themselves independent.
So I think the ultimate intent is literally just like clear app with a Docker machine as well.
Sorry, was that the?
Like just like another Docker layer, you would deploy your app, or you would like put your app on top without configuration management.
Yeah. So I mean, ideally, would like to release is you've got your lower levels that it's on the bottom. It's lower. They don't change as much, and then as you layer up, the higher order or the higher layers, they change more frequently till the very top. That's your actual application. And so when you push code, it's just that thin layer up top that gets added and changed. But because all of those layers are cached on your target machine, really all it needs to do is download that top layer. But you're getting a full immutable kind of stack underneath it. So I think it's more for the middle where you're trying to set up all of your dependencies in runtime. For us, it's very complicated. I think for some shops, like it just might be just install Java or Python and a few other extra things. But for us, it was huge. There was a lot of interdependencies there, and so we needed to integrate with configuration management.
There's also a bit of a philosophical mismatch between the way Docker or people think about what a Docker container is. They think about it as a process, not as an edge and sub-process. Doing all the rest of the pieces. Like they don't think about it as SH and all the other stuff is really running inside of your configuration managed VM. But it's perfectly possible to do that with this. So for some reason they don't style doing that as the canonical Docker so right. Are they? Yes. Tell us.
So I think Docker has sort of like a alternative to organic or editing using the Docker, and you are sure you know just nothing about that. So your option to be SSH, your option to be
So then it's the second
level you have.
play devil's advocate there. If you are just running the process, but what is supervision and all the other bits and pieces service discovery you could have around the processes.
Look at your approach to what else you can use.
Yes.
System B outside of your computer.
Yeah.
So system B certifies the food function there. And again, XP and restriction service requests. But they do that sort of thing. So they have for us is kernel plus system B plus SCP plus Docker. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's the
That makes sense.
just the very needs for the application. The student here is this structure and rules and that's good. And if you start putting that as like SSH or no, it's funding of the fund.
What would you cost, otherwise?
Yeah.
That's ready.
It's the stable, pretty zone update method based on the number sections. It's very good.
Thanks, guys. Let's go. So,
What do you see as like the corporation that need to be solved before you be comfortable running containers in production?
I think actually most of these issues, the pin one problem, and just a bit of uncertainty with exactly what are the edge cases and realities of putting in production. Like I just would want to have a long running process, kind of in place first. Like unit tests is tear up and spin up and tear down. So the kind of the maintenance and sort of life cycle of running a long running process to me is that. So it's part personal knowledge, and also it'd be nice if actually Docker themselves said, hey, we're production ready now, because there's like a big warning which is do not use this in production yet, right? Yeah.
But if you can run lots of Docker containers in parallel, and they're all ephemeral, and they don't keep any state, then does it really matter if they come up and go down?
I guess not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I find that there's actually similarities with Docker in the way that Netflix does things. Okay, so they don't use Docker, they use AMIs, and that's the only thing they release. So they use something called Aminator, create like this immutable server image, and that's what they spin up, and that's what Docker is. And so that's all they do is throw up AMIs, and they're all under an auto-scaling group. So if one goes down, well, who cares? Respin it, right? So it's the same sort of idea. And I mean, they even have chaos mode to explicitly go and trash things, right? To go and tear down instances. So I guess that's a good point. You know, if you're able to respin up a container somewhere else, then I guess that's in fast. I guess that would be your safety net, right?
Yeah. I think the biggest concerns are security concerns.
Yeah, for you as a platform as a service.
Yeah.
But you're talking about within a machine containers, like being able to, like the security in between containers, is that what you mean?
Yeah, so like we build platforms as a service, so we don't want people being able to break out of their container. And so we don't let anyone have like pseudo access or use their own Docker containers.
Right.
Or anything yet, just because there is some serious limitations.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a particular problem for platform as a service for us. We own machines or rent the machines, so we're not going to be conflicting with other users. But I think that it's an issue. So anyways, thank you.
Chris, what would,
Yeah.
aside from the technology on the move right now, what would it take for you to trust it in production?
Yeah, I guess there's the same things. Like there's a bit of comfort in myself. Like I don't feel comfortable with my level of knowledge to put in production. And it's kind of the knowns and unknowns and unknown unknowns, right?
I think a lot of us are waiting for the Docker safety seal of approval saying that it's production ready.
Well,
And then also having a bit more internal knowledge of Docker itself. Like I'm just a user myself, like
So-
I hope to be more of a developer to get more knowledge in it. And once I understand it more from a lower level system, I would be more than happy to work on that. Yeah.
I almost argue that you use it simply as a management tool for LXC, and you're not using the registry. And the runtime bits of it are LXC, and you're just using it for spine and image management. It's almost there already.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been using LXC in production for a
Yeah.
long time. So
But it's got the only things like exit code not being reported properly. A few other
yeah.
things on the bad path. The good path works. The bad path, you're not going to necessarily hear about things.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, guys.
great discussion. Yeah, so I guess concludes the meetup. Drink the beer. We're gonna have our meetup in probably like 2-3 months. And we're gonna get more people presenting how they use Docker or if Docker's gone to production by then or not. So I'm sure we're gonna see a lot of change in the next 2 months. But yeah, thanks for coming out.
Okay, one question. Who wants to go for food or beer on it, Mascots on Main Street? With you? Okay, good.
There we go. Cool. Thanks everyone.